Hey, it's Job, and yes, I'm back again with another journal with me. I hope you aren't sick of these yet. Today's background music is a bit more festive than usual since it's December 1st today. I've been in holiday mode for a while now, since early November, but I can really feel the Christmas vibes now. Anyways, I've rambled on for long enough, let's get started. A few weeks ago, I watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them on Wednesday, November 6th. I grew up reading and watching Harry Potter books and films, and it's honestly such a big part of my life and personality, so I thought this day was pretty significant to me. Today's spread is dedicated to that magical day. Okay, anyways, enough with the mushy parts. That day, I left the theater with 3 movie pamphlets so I could tear one and I could hoard the other 2. While I was gushing about Harry Potter, I ripped up a page from a Korean kinfolk magazine. I know I cringed the first time I did that. And I put some brown paint on the page since the paper with the trees didn't fully cover that left page. I ripped off a bit more of that tree paper to expose more of the brown paint, and then I put it aside because I wanted it to dry. While we're waiting for that to dry, I opened up one of my Fantastic Beasts pamphlets, and I wanted to fill the right page with Newt and the other characters from the film. I then cut the pamphlet so that it would fill the width of one page of the journal. Mind you, I did not properly measure the page, but it turned out alright. I thought the spread would look too plain if I pasted that whole panel down, so I decided to fussy cut the silhouette of the characters out. I wanted some more blank space at the top of the page, so I thought I would trim a bit from the bottom as well. I made sure to leave the film logo in though. After all that cutting, I wanted to use my distress sprays on this spread. I've been avoiding them for a while, and I usually use them while I'm filming these Journal With Me videos. I feel like I'm more willing to experiment with different techniques when I'm filming. It's just fun to see if they'll turn out alright. I tried spraying them a bit further away, as many of you suggested, and it turned out pretty good. I mean, I like the splattered ink look, so that's what I got. After cleaning up a bit, I wanted to soften the look of the distress spray, so I took a dry tissue and just blotted the extra ink off. It was finally time to adhere the wood paper sheet and the pamphlet cut out to the journal, and I used my trusty Daiso tape runner because you all know how much I don't hate using glue, but I try to avoid using glue as much as possible. I didn't have a date down on the page yet, so I decided to use a page from my tearaway calendar, and I just taped that onto the page. Although I love the look of the trees on the page, I felt that I didn't have enough blank space to journal. Although I would end up journaling on the wood paper, I wanted some space where I could write where there wasn't a distracting background. That's why I ended up taking some craft paper and ripping it up so I have a little corner of writing space on the left page. Rather than just scripting out the date, I wanted to use these wooden rubber stamps that I haven't used in a while. These were actually the first stamps I've ever purchased. And since I wanted to get even spacing with these stamps, I took a rubber band to keep the stamps pressed onto each other and then stamped it down onto the page. You've probably seen me do this a few times now, and it's probably my favorite stamping hack for wooden stamps. Once I finished stamping the word Wednesday, I cleaned my stamps with a wet wipe and then took one of my favorite classic-y grid washi tapes and put it vertically onto the page. I can't believe we're almost 3 minutes into the video and I still haven't used a single washi tape. Isn't that weird? Okay. Anyways, I wanted to script a quote on the top right-hand corner of the right page, but I wanted the spread to be a bit more cohesive, so I tried to mirror what I had on the left page onto the right page. So I tore up some craft paper and taped it to the top right corner of the page. I didn't know what quote to script on the top, but I just played it safe and decided on scripting Fantastic Beasts with my Sumi ink-filled aquash brush pen. I was terrified while scripting this because I tend to go long periods without practicing my brush calligraphy, and this was one of those long spouts of no practice. I didn't put any pencil guidelines, which I'll come to regret in a few moments, but I think the word fantastic came out alright actually. Thankfully, I got the spacing down alright. While the word fantastic turned out alright, I didn't like how the word beast turned out. All the letters seemed to be different sizes, and I honestly just suck at scripting capital B's for some reason. I tried salvaging it, and I even put starbursts to distract myself from it. But even after putting those starbursts in gold and black, I started disliking it even more. I even kind of regret putting those stars too. So I decided I would just redo the whole thing and try covering up the word beasts. I had to peel a part of Newt's head so I could get this classic-y grid tape behind him. The tape was really wide and it covered some parts that I scripted already, so I just marked those places with a pencil and then cut it out. I then peeled off the backing of the grid tape and adhered it onto the page. I then had to glue Newt's head back onto the page after. To play it safe this time, I decided to pencil in the word beast before going in with the paintbrush since I wanted to get the letter forms and spacing down to avoid another mistake. The thing is, I don't like how this classic-y grid paper reacts to ink. The ink pools in some places and it's probably because the surface isn't as porous as regular paper. In hindsight, I would have used a different type of paper to cover up my mistake. Overall though, I think it turned out alright. I'm not 100% happy with my brush lettering, but it'll have to do. Okay, so we're at the home stretch, folks. I just took out my movie ticket and tore it up so it's a bit smaller and shorter so that it could fit under that small space under the date. To finish this spread, I wanted to put a wax seal near the movie ticket to add one more magical touch to the page. I probably should have used my dip pen for the calligraphy in this spread, since that's the closest thing I have to a quill. With all that geekery aside, the spread is finished. I wish my camera didn't die during the wax sealing portion of the video, but it did. As usual, I did the journaling off camera. Overall, I think the spread is pretty good. It's a little busy and heavily collaged, but I think it still captures the feel of the movie. Thanks for watching another one of these Journal With Me videos. I don't think I mentioned this, but I interviewed Mitz, a fellow YouTuber, on my vlog. Go check it out. I've also interviewed a whole bunch of awesome creators, and I think you'll find these interviews interesting and inspiring. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bye!